What's up, guys? I'm Makai Block. You're watching Limitless North TV. There's a habit that I really wish I would have understood and learned a long time ago in my life. I've been a business owner for over 14 years, actually 15 years now. I own Elevated Clothing. I also own Limitless North and a handful of other businesses. And if there's one thing I wish I knew, it was to make my businesses into systems and processes rather than just doing work. You see, the more that you can simplify and systematize and put things into a specific process that creates predictability for you, the more success you're going to have in your business in general. The biggest mistake that so many people make is they just typically run around like chickens with their head cut off, and they do work here and they do work there and they do work over here, and they do all these things which produce results for them, but they can never replicate those results. And so they're always just running week to week, day to day, month to month, doing all these things, hoping to produce results and thus hoping to grow. But the problem is we can never replicate that. We don't have a system or any predictability for it. And so while we may grow, we may increase our income, we may increase our results in certain ways, we're just always forcing ourselves to push harder and harder and harder to recreate some amount of momentum and get those same results, that same level of results, that same income, and we don't really know where it's going to come from. But the professionals do it differently, and I never realized this until a couple of years ago, and I'm actually right in the middle of implementing this into all of my businesses at the moment, and it's making all of the difference in the world. So understanding that if you put things into a system, you can create predictability, and predictability is something that you can build growth on, because the more that you put things into the system, step A, step B, step C, step D leads to E, and you can predict what E is going to be based on what you put in A, B, C, D, then as you predict what E is and as you see those results come out consistently, you can change A, B, C, or D to increase what comes out at E. Does that make sense? So you have this process that you develop for yourself that you do A, B, C, and D, and you'll end up with E every time, or something very similar to E every time. And so you know if you do 2A plus 2B plus C plus D, you're going to get a greater exponent of E. If you do 3A and 2B and 1C and 1D, you'll get an even greater result. Now if you multiply A, B, C, and D by 5, you'll get an even greater E. But you just know that as you tweak these little things, these little steps, you'll see how they affect your final results, and you'll see whether you're growing, whether you're losing, whether they help, whether they hurt. And you can work with that process. You can work with this set system of steps that you understand. But if you don't have these systems, you don't have these processes in place, what are you doing? You're just working like crazy, doing all these things, sending emails, making phone calls, doing these things. You have these steps that you do, but they're in no kind of order. You have no predictability to them, and you're just doing them randomly and sporadically. So one day you'll do a bunch of emails, the next day you'll do a bunch of phone calls, the next day you'll go have face-to-face meetings, and then you'll switch that order up and you'll go do a whole different variety of them with no order, no predictability, no sustainability to that. And you'll never know how to get the results that you want. You just know, I do like 14 things and one of those pays off for me, so I just got to go do all this work and hope I increase my income, hope my business grows. So the biggest thing I've learned is just to create a system and a process that becomes predictable. And you can do this with everything. I'll just give you one illustration. So back in my graphic design days, I graduated college with a graphic design degree from Montana State University. I still do a lot of graphic design from time to time, but the problem was I never felt good at it. I'm a great designer. I love what I do. When I'm doing something that I care about, I can produce incredible results. But I never had a system for my designing, so I just felt like I was never that good at it. I'd get an assignment, and I'd spend hours drawing and sketching and researching and trying to think of ways to make a good design. And then I would spend days trying to design and pushing my designs farther and farther, and I would just never get anywhere. And I'd finally get to a final result after tons of effort and work and energy put into it, and then I would maybe be happy with my output. But the thing is, good designers, good professionals, and I want you to hear this, the difference between amateurs and professionals is predictability, systems, and processes. So good designers will do the exact same steps every time. They'll know exactly what they need to do and how much of it to get the desired output. And so they'll design a very specific way. That's why when you look at great artists, they have a very specific structure to their art. It looks the same. It is the same genre and category, right? They get into this system where they know what they're creating and they're good at it and they perfect it. And amateur artists will paint everything, they'll draw everything, and they'll be all over the board until they finally lock in on one style that they love and they excel at that style. And finally, after years and years of doing that, they become so good at one style that gets them noticed. That's no different than creating a process and a system. If they would just identify from stage one what it is they're going to focus on and do that one thing systematically, whether it's sketching or painting or whatever, and then just perfect those things, they would shortcut their journey as an artist by so much. And the same as the designer. So if you can realize, what kind of design am I good at? Is it black and white logos? Is it Illustrator based? Is it illustration? Is it lots of colors? What is it? And if you can just hone in on one style, and then any customer you get, you put into this process where you say, okay, I'll do this much research, no more, no less. Once I've done that research, I will take what I've learned and I'll put it to pen and paper, and then I'll sketch. But I'm only going to do 5 or 6 sketches, no more, no less, because if you don't set these limits for yourself, you get lost in the processes and you waste so much time that's actually not leading to the final result, and it's not productive most often. But as you get this system developed, you know, I do A, and then I do B, and then I do C. I'll take that sketch and I'll put it into my computer and I design it in a very specific style because that's what I'm good at. That's what I know. I'm not going to push myself on these other styles unless or until I want to and need to. But for this process, for this work that I'm getting paid for, I want predictability, I want results that I understand, and I'm going to go from A, B, C, D, E, and come out with E and know exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to fit into my style, it'll fit into my structure, and I know that I will get there because I will follow this exact system to do that. And it should take this amount of time with each step, so when all is said and done, I know that I'll have put 10 hours into the design or 20 hours into the design, and I'll end up with a product that I'm more or less happy with, and then I'll do a couple of tweaks at the end. That system will save you so much heartache, so much headache, so much frustration and hassle, and it changes everything. And it actually creates this artistic style that you can then get good at and be known for and have very strong work. And so the same thing with Elevated. Right now, this whole new system that I'm putting into place with my clothing company is simply this. Brand new website, 15 or so designs on the website available at all times that are branded for Elevated, so people know exactly what they're going to get. They can buy into the brand. They can have these cool designs always at their fingertips. And then every single week, release a brand new design that's limited. So I can make a backlog of 10 or 15 new designs, and I'll have my next 10 or 15 weeks built out. So I'm always ahead of the game. So every week, every Monday, release a shirt. How do I release that shirt? I first push it out to my newsletter because my exclusive mailing list are the people that I want to benefit the most out of this process. I want to reward them for being loyal fans and customers. And so I first give them first access to this extremely limited piece. We do maybe 50, 35 pieces of each design. Our newsletter gets access to it. They either buy it out and it sells out and it's done, and then my job is done. Or if they don't, the next step is I have a exclusive group for athletes that want to join our athlete program, but we're building relationship with them. So then I give them access to the design and say, it's already gone out to the newsletter. Do you guys want it? There's this many left. Those athletes will then buy it at a discount because they get early access to it, and so they feel hooked up and they feel rewarded for being loyal fans and customers of Elevated. And at that stage, if it didn't sell out at stage 1, it sells out at stage 2. If it doesn't sell out at stage 2 and I still have some left, what I then do is put it up on my social media. I blast it out through Facebook, through Instagram, through Twitter, and I put it out to the world, right? Now, accompanying all of these, and at that point it should sell out because I have a great fan base. If it doesn't, then I leave it on the website for another couple of weeks, and next week I start the process all over again. Release a brand new design on Monday, first send it to my list, then send it to my athletes, then send it to social media and the general public. Now, while I'm doing that, once it reaches the general public, I'm also going to do a Facebook advertisement for it. I'm going to do a blog post on it so there's content going out into the web and putting out keywords so that the general population can come and find my website. My brand grows. I'll be driving Facebook ads to it so that I can sell it out that way, plus get more signups to my mailing list. I'll also do a video here in the shop wearing the product, showing it off, showing people the fit, the overall design, how cool it is. I'll talk about how soft it is, talk about cool features on it, what makes our products unique. And so I'm giving my brand story out there, and I'm sharing it with not only my fans and my customers and my friends, but the world. And so I'll put this video out onto our YouTube channel, which grows revenue through YouTube. It also just makes more exposure for our company. And then it gives people a very visual way to understand the brand. And so I'll put that out. I'll put it in the newsletter so people can see the video. I'm getting ad revenue from people watching the video. Plus, I'm getting a better brand understanding from our fans and customers. And they're seeing this whole process go through. And I know that as long as I do A, B, C, D, and E, I design a shirt, I release it in newsletter, I film a video in it, I do a blog post, I put Facebook advertisements to it, I release it to our athletes, I release it to the general population. If I follow those steps exactly, after doing that a handful of times, I'm going to know just about how much money I can expect every time I release a new shirt. Every time I put in effort into a new design, I can expect this much return on it. And then I can tweak those things. How many products we're offering, whether it's 50 or 100 or 35 or 20 or 1,000, we can tweak those numbers and see what our audience responds to. I can tweak the types of designs that I do. I can build my mailing list so that when I release it to our exclusive list, it goes out to a greater number of people, thus ensuring more revenue. I can increase my athletes, the number of athletes that see it and have access to it. I can change the way that I put it out on Instagram and Facebook. I can change my Facebook ads. Each one of these steps has a whole world of things that I can change and tweak and get to know better and better. But the idea is I'm not doing all these random things and hoping something sticks. I have a process and a system that I know I put in this and I get out this much revenue. I tweak this, revenue goes up, revenue goes down. I tweak this, revenue goes up, revenue goes down. I tweak this, revenue goes up, revenue goes down. I get to understand every step of this, and all of a sudden my life is predictable. I'm not worried about money because I understand I'm going to make this much every time I do these processes. And so life becomes simple and easy and stress-free, and all I have to do is show up and do a very specific set of things. Whereas before, for 15 years basically, I showed up every day and said, what am I going to do to grow my brand today? 100 things. And I would do them all either very well and waste all of my energy and time and be so stressed out, or I wouldn't do them so well because I didn't have the energy to put into them, and I was trying to do so many things that it never really gave me those results. And so I hope that this helps you see how you can build a better business by doing very specific things in a certain way. You want to create a structure, a system, a process. And hear me now, if you're an entrepreneur, this will be the one thing that makes all of the difference in the world for you. If you can change the way that you do things into a system and a process of predictability, life will change for you. Your business will change for you. Your income will absolutely change as a result of doing this. So go make a system and a process out of what you're doing, and you will save yourself years of headache and frustration and guesswork. If I would have been doing that process from day one, my company would be so much bigger by now because I would have just spent 14, 15 years building a giant mailing list, releasing really cool products, knowing that there's an attentive audience every time I do it that have come to expect, hey, I better jump on these products on Monday because by Wednesday they're sold out and I can no longer get them. So it's just a really cool thing to do. I hope that this helps you guys. Man, there's so many cool little tricks and tweaks like that that you learn from being an entrepreneur and doing business and struggling and going through all the guesswork. And so that's what this channel is here for, is I want to share that with you guys, and hopefully I can shortcut your journey to success because of the way that I have built my companies and made my mistakes and learned the things that I've learned. And so that's what Limitless North is all about. I'm here to help you guys. Again, I'm Makai Block. If you have any questions or thoughts, leave them in the comments. If you have a specific business that you're working on, I'd love to talk with you about what processes you can make. I do brand consulting and business consulting, so if you're interested in that, leave a comment. I'll get in touch with you. You can also email me at limitlessnorth@gmail.com, and we can talk about setting up a free consultation for you. My goal here is to help you build a better business and make more money and be less stressed about your life so that you can focus on the better, more important things of life, like loving people well and building relationships and adding value, and not being so worried about struggle and paying your bills and how you're going to make your dreams come true. So I really hope that this information can help you shortcut your way to your journey. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and please share it. It helps so much to build a better audience here. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate you so much. I'm Makai Block with Limitless North, and I will catch you on the next one. Hi, I'm Makai Block. Welcome to Limitless North TV. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You might ask yourself, why should I? Every week, I'll be developing and delivering quality videos focused on helping you become a high-value, high-achieving entrepreneur, to earn more and increase your income, to build and grow your wealth, and to make insightful and impactful changes to the way that you live your life and run your businesses. You will be challenged. You will be inspired. I will motivate you to hit that next level in your life, to overcome your obstacles, and to quit struggling through your mediocrity. But most importantly, I'll be developing and delivering strategies and ideas, tips, tricks, habits, and tools that you can begin implementing in your life today to see the success and the change that you've been hoping for. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so you don't miss a single episode, and I will see you on the next one. I guarantee you, and I promise you, that you won't regret it. Welcome to Limitless North.